All right, let's test what pan is the best to cook a good fried egg in. I know there's a lot of mixed views out there, so let's put it to the test. We got stainless steel, carbon steel, cast iron, and your good old non-stick. I'm going to try to cook these all at the same temperature to the same cooked level of the egg, and I'm going to use the same amount of oil in every single one of them. It is 1 tablespoon, not relevant though. You could do any amount you want, just keep it consistent across the board. Now, I know there's a lot of views on how to make things like stainless steel totally non-stick, where you get that bead of water to not evaporate, but to dance across the metal. And that's great for meats and stuff like that. But for an egg, you're going to burn that thing so fast that that isn't really an accurate way to cook. So let's see if at normal temperatures heated to a decent degree and with some oil, can I get those stainless steel, carbon steel, cast iron to act non-stick enough that they're worth it? Right off the bat here, we're going to do the kind of baseline test, though, in my non-stick. People always say crack your eggs on a flat surface. I get a ton of shell on this one. The next 3, I'm going to tell you, I crack on the edge of the pan, and I get no shell. So crack your eggs however you like. Right off the bat, you can tell the white is really staying together. It's not separating too much. It's staying in a nice overall egg shape. It's a little funky looking, but it is a good looking egg. The base of it's set fairly quickly, putting it into the hot pan, and that's what you're looking for. I like to use rubber spatulas to just try to help move them. You could use whatever method you want. Realistically, in a non-stick, you should be able to just shake the pan and the egg will come free. Sometimes it needs a little bit of extra help. When I cook a fried egg, I'm going for just starting to brown around the outside of it. You want to make sure the white on the top is fully cooked, so I'll show you what I do for that in a second, but you can see it bubbling nicely here. You don't want it bubbling too much because that may break the yolk or it'll pop through the bottom and break it. But to get a real nice cook on the top without overcooking the underside, I like to grab a spoon and baste that hot oil over the top onto the uncooked part of the white. This is a real great way to make sure you don't undercook your eggs or burn the bottom of your egg trying to get the top part really cooked. You can even pour a little over the yolk and it'll give it this nice little bubbly look, but the yolk will still be soft, runny, warm. You're not going to fry the yolk that way. Just pour that hot oil over the top and you're good to go. But see how freely that's like slid around the pan? It's exactly what you're looking for. Wait till you get those nice little brown edges, and that's one fully cooked fried egg. If you were doing over easy, you could flip it at this point. Very easy to do in the non-stick pan, but flipping the egg for over easy in the next 3 pans is really not an easy task, so that's why we did the fried egg as the test. Last little bit of basting just to make sure that that white is cooked, and then this egg will be done. Pop that out, slid up super easily. There's no remnants there left on that pan. A+ for that method. Now let's try a straight up stainless steel pan. I know this is giant. I don't have my other stainless steel pans available at the moment, so the functionality of this isn't any different. This pan is just larger than you would normally find or need. I'm heating that oil until it looks shimmery, which is the goal. Normally, if you were going to cook like a chicken breast in here or some meat and you want it to be truly non-stick or even fish, you want to get it so hot that when you drop in a little bit of water, like I mentioned earlier, it will beat up and dance around the pan instead of evaporating. But to get this that hot, your eggs are going to pop, explode, burn so quickly that it makes this pan very difficult to use for just a nice fried egg. So you put that in, it was immediately hot enough, and it immediately starts to cook. But right off the bat, I could tell something is odd with it. It's getting weird little holes throughout it. It looks very separated. It looks immediately like it has stuck and it's burning. You'll see shortly that that is absolutely what it's doing. It didn't stay with that nice white shape. See, it looks just strange. So this is not the method to use. Right away, try to get that spatula under there. I noticed something is very not right. Can't get under it on almost any side. It is just so burnt that I'm going to keep the rest of this clip in there, but this is going to turn into scrambled eggs. It stuck so hard, so aggressively. Even when the egg slightly got up there and moved, it stuck again immediately. I just kind of pushed it around and scrambled it. This is an absolute fail. If you can cook them effortlessly without burning your eggs in stainless steel, let me know, but I just don't think that method is any way useful. Up next, carbon steel. This is kind of like a mix between a stainless steel pan and a cast iron pan. It has a layer of seasoning on it, so that plus the oil, in theory, should make an egg fairly cookable in this. Cooked that oil to the point where it was also shimmery. You could see how loose it is there before we crack the egg in. And right as I crack the egg in now, you're going to see that it immediately starts to fry. So there's no it's sticking because they were cold. That gets hot right and bam. That one you could tell off the bat, though, is cooking much nicer than the stainless steel one did. So I have faith with this one already. It may stick a little bit because that's just the inherent nature of it not being a nonstick pan. But if I can get an egg that looks passable from this, I'm going to call that a success. The first side there is definitely a little bit stuck, but it's looking nice, so I do think it'll work. Yeah, I'm able to get under there on that side. The egg overall, a little bit stuck, but it's staying together. The pieces that are stuck to the bottom are so much less than the previous egg, so I will baste this one to try to get the same results and see how this final product turns out. Just standing there staring at it. Cooks so much slower when you do it that way, but just got to stand hovering over the pan. It looks great, though. The edges are nice and brown. That's exactly what I'm looking for. That looks very, very similar to the nonstick pan. Obviously, some did stick there, though. Next up is the cast iron. This is the one I had my money set on for second best, so we'll see. Also, just to mention that carbon steel did very well looks-wise, but if you tried to cook a second egg in that with that little bit stuck to the bottom, your next few eggs are going to be significantly worse. This pan I heated up for even longer because it's harder to transfer the heat, so you can see that's why when I dropped it in, it didn't get as hot right away. But the shape and the look of this one right off the bat, I'm very happy with. We're going to baste this guy right away, just start to do the very same process, and I'm very happy with how this one's looked. The only thing that's harder with this is that the cast iron will get hot, so grabbing that handle and basting, you do need to just grab a towel or a mitt or whatever you can. Sliding around the sides, this one did a great job. It is not very stuck, and I'm very happy about that. This is a fairly seasoned cast iron. I did refinish the bottom fairly recently, so it could have even more layers of seasoning on it, which would yield an even greater result. So just take that into account. If you have a very nice, old, super seasoned pan, you'll probably get amazing results out of that. But this one I'm very happy with so far. Basted it enough that you can see it's kind of puffy around the yolk. All that white is nice and fully cooked. That little piece there did stick, but that may just be an error on my part from when I moved it the first time. But all in all, really happy with this one. Very small surface area stuck there. But overall results here, I still think if you're going to make eggs, use a non-stick pan. As you can see here, though, some of the looks right off the bat look okay, but that non-stick was the best. The bottom two look okay, but there was sticking, and that stainless steel is just bad. Use a non-stick, guys. It's easy.